August predictions and horoscopes. Hello everybody, I'm Tina Chaudhary. Welcome to my channel and a very warm namaste. I know some of my regular viewers are probably confused about the background. I'm not in sunny, beautiful California today. I'm in sunny Las Vegas. It's very hot. I can't sit outside. It's boiling hot. It's over 100 degrees. So I'm going to have to tape from inside my house in Vegas. I'm sorry for the boring background, but I needed to get my horoscopes and predictions out to you for August. So let's take a look at August and see if there's any special days or celebrations in August. The first one is on August 13th, and that's Nag Panchami. What is Nag Panchami? Nag means snake, and Panchami means fifth. So traditionally, in very hundreds of years ago, the Hindus in India celebrated Nag Panchami because it was celebrated in the month of Shravan, and Shravan means monsoon. So August is traditionally considered Shravan month, or the month of the monsoon. And so what used to happen was, with the rains, the snakes would come out of their burrows and people would be agriculturally tilling the land, so the snakes would come out, and it was discouraged that not to kill the snakes. So they were discouraged to kill the snakes and instead feed the snakes. And so nowadays, of course, there is no such thing as the snakes coming out of the land or anything like that. It's a civilized society as opposed to a more agricultural society. So it has lost a lot of its meaning. If people really want to do anything on that day, the only thing I can recommend is to pray to Lord Shiva. He represents the snakes, and so you can pray to Lord Shiva. You can recite the Om Namo Shivaya on that day, and it gives a lot of benefits. So the second special day is on the 21st, and August 21st is Raksha Bandhan. That's still celebrated a lot in India and amongst the Indians outside of India. What does that mean? Raksha means protection, and Bandhan means bond. So it's the protection, the bond of protection between siblings. And what do the Indians do, or whoever that celebrates Raksha Bandhan, what do they do on this day? So the sisters tie a thread, or a sacred thread, or anything decorative, or a bracelet on the wrists of their brothers, and pledge their love and support to them for their lives. And the brother pledges that they will protect their sisters and always take care of them. It's a beautiful festival that I think should still be practiced. You know, some of these festivals that we have, or the celebrations that we have in the Hindu tradition, really focus on thinking of things that we take for granted throughout the year. So, you know, we take our siblings for granted throughout the year, and sometimes we forget to say that we love them, or we pledge our love to them. So it's a great day. If you have siblings, it doesn't matter if it's a brother or a sister. I think it's a good day to pledge your love to them. So August 21st, Raksha Bandhan. Pledge your love to your siblings. Now, the last special day in August is on the 30th, which is August 30th, and it's Krishna Janmashtami. So what does that mean? Krishna, of course, is Lord Krishna, and Janmashtami means, Janam means birth, and Ashtami means the 8th. So Lord Krishna was born on the 8th of the days of the declining moon, or the waning moon. So he was born on that day, and so that's celebrated in the Shravan month of the new moon, after the new moon, the 8th day after the new moon. So that's celebrated with a lot of pomp and grandeur. Even nowadays in India, if somebody, you know, believes in Lord Krishna, they definitely do a lot of prayers on that day and ask for his blessing. So let's take a look at all the planetary transits and placements, what's happening with them in August. So the slow-moving planets don't have any transits. Jupiter staying in Aquarius, Saturn staying in Capricorn, and Rahu Ketu are staying in Taurus and Scorpio, respectively. They're not doing anything. But the fast-moving planets are, almost all of them are going to do something. So Mars is in Leo, and it's going to stay in Leo. So that's he's not moving anything. So Venus is in Leo, and then it moves to Virgo on August 8th. On August 10th. The sun is in Cancer, and then it'll move to Leo on August 16th. And then Mercury is the one that always has to do a lot of things. And so Mercury starts out being in Cancer, then it goes to Leo on August 8th, and then on August 25th, it's going to go into Virgo. So it's got 2 transits this month. Now, like I said in my July video, Mercury rules so many of our things. It rules our intellect, it rules our decision-making ability, it rules our finances, and above all, it rules our communication skills. So when it's moving fast like that, it impacts all of these, areas in our life, our communication skills and our ability to make decisions, our finance, and our wealth related activities. So a lot of people are making a lot of changes in those areas, meaning what to do with their wealth, investments, and finances, moving around a lot. Also, the problem with Mercury is that it's combust. What is combust? Mercury is very close to the sun. As you know, it's the closest to the sun. So a lot of times during the year it gets combust. So what is combust? I've explained in my previous video, is when a planet gets very close to the sun, it gets burnt or combusts its energy. So the sun takes over and doesn't let that planet give its own energy out. So Mercury is going to stay combust for almost the whole month, which means that it's not giving good energy of its own. So we have to be very careful with our decision-making abilities and our communication skills, because that's what it represents. So it could probably give us some bad communication skills, meaning we may be either depressed communication skills or fiery, angry communication skills, depending upon where Mercury is placed in your chart, or based on the ascendant and the ruler of where Mercury is at. Also, make sure you think through things before you make changes in your financial portfolios and make financial decisions, so that, because it's ruled by Mercury and it's combust. So definitely Mercury has been giving us this kind of energy since the last couple of months. It's been traveling very fast, and not only that, but now it's combust. So that's kind of the Mercury energy going on for August as well. And speaking about the moon, I've mentioned this in my prior month videos also, that the moon goes through the whole zodiac in 28 days. So there's some challenging days of the moon. It stays in the same house for 2.25 days. So depending upon the house it is and your ascendant, it kind of gives you the same result for 2 days. So because it's in the same house for 2 days, so depending upon that, it can give you the same mood for 2 days, or it can give you the same problem for 2 days. So if you're, for example, I said last time that if you're having a headache and you don't take any medication for it, probably lasts for 2 days on its own. Or if you're feeling depressed, it probably lasts for 2 days if you don't do anything about it. Or if you're happy, the mood. So the mood swings are because of the moon's transit through the zodiac. So all the mood swings that we have are basically dependent on the moon's transit. So for every ascendant, I'll tell you those challenging days when the moon is transiting your 6th, 8th, and 12th houses. The 6th house, when it transits for any ascendant, usually gives you kind of like a feeling of weakness in the body, because the 6th house represents disease. The 8th house represents obstacles and difficulty of different kinds. So I'll tell you those days. And the 12th house is just an expensive house. It kind of gives you some of the different kind of results, maybe some challenging results. So for every ascendant, I'll tell you those difficult days that are associated with the moon's transit around the zodiac. So stay tuned for those days. They're nothing to worry about. I don't think you should be concerned or worried about it. Just become aware of that. My predictions are based on your ascendant or your rising sign. They're not based on your moon sign. They're not based on your sun sign. Now, sun signs are those that you kind of based on your date of birth. You look in the magazines or newspapers, and then you know your sun sign. They're not based on the same sign. If you're unaware of what your ascendant or your rising sign is, you can drop me a note in my comment or my email that's showing up on the screen, and tell me your date of birth, place of birth, and time of birth, and I'll let you know what your ascendant or rising sign is. I don't charge for that at all, ever. So you can just let me know. I'll let you know what your ascendant and rising sign is, so you can always listen to my predictions. I put out a video every week on different things, different transits, and then I do a monthly video on your predictions, and I've gotten feedback that it's amazingly accurate. Obviously for myself, I know if it's amazingly accurate or not, but if you don't know your ascendant, I'll be happy to tell you your ascendant. And these are general predictions, actual life-changing life-changing events are really based on the dashas that you're undergoing or what planet you're under the influence of based on the dashas. So these are general predictions, and I don't think anybody should get really worried about them, but just kind of a guide of to, you know, where the month may be headed. I'm going to move on to predictions now, but if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do subscribe to my channel. If you like the video, give me a like, and definitely do share it with friends and family. I'm sure they want to know what's going on in the month for them as well. So the first sign is Aries. Aries, this is a good month for opportunities. And lately you may have been thinking about, or you may be very interested in the stock market, investments, and making changes to your wealth portfolio or investing your financial wealth. You have to think very carefully before you make any changes to that. Remember I said Mercury is a little challenge right now, so you have to be very careful about that. Also, you may be your love life is going to be good. Your relationship with your children will be very good, but your communication is going to suffer. So because remember I said Mercury is challenged, and so you need to watch your communication very carefully and how you talk to them, especially how you deal with women, because Venus is going to be combust for a while as well. So watch your communication with children, watch your communication with the women in your life, whether they're at work or whether they're at home. Your marital life has been disturbed for a while, so you need to make sure your communication at work and at home is always very cordial and professional at work, because otherwise it could lead to some trouble later on. So this is a month where I'm cautioning you about the fact that, because it may have bad consequences later on. Aries challenging days are 16th to the 20th, the 27th to the 31st, especially for money matters. Taurus, August is a great month for new ideas and being creative and thinking of ways how to do things new. That's why it's a great month for career and income advancement and advancement in your work field. But it's going to make you work hard. I think you're going to have to work hard and think up new ways to do things, and you will definitely advance in your career, and it's great for income. This is a month where you will learn something. This is the month that teaches you something valuable, a valuable lesson in life before this month is over. As far as relationships with loved ones is concerned, I think that your communication will be very critical, because you need to know how to make sure you watch your communication at all times. Otherwise, there could be misunderstanding with loved ones, and you may communicate in a way where the other person, your loved ones, family members, may take it the wrong way, and then they could be some disagreements with them as well. So watch your communication very carefully. I'm saying this to a lot of ascendants because Mercury is retrograde this month. So communication could be an issue for a lot of ascendants, and Taurus, you're one of them. Your health is going to be okay, but I see you spending a lot of money on items that are related to things that are used in the home. I see you spending a lot of money on home-related items, large ticket items. Also, if you're in the process of relocation, I see you spending a lot of money on relocation-related items. If you can afford it, then go, by all means, enjoy it. But if you can't, you really need to keep control on your expenses, because they may get out of your hand very quickly. So I see you spending a lot of money on fun-related items as well. If you have disagreements with your loved ones, it might not be a bad idea to spend money on them, on your loved ones, and show them that you love them and go out and have fun. I think that's going to have great, wonderful consequences. I think it's going to strengthen your relationship as long as you watch your communication. Your health is okay, and your career is going to be good. So it's a very good month for Taurians. Your challenging days are the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 9th, 10th, and then the 20th, 21st, and the 22nd. Gemini. So since the last few months you were feeling very low on energy, you were down, and you definitely wanted to be left alone by others. Now all of a sudden, since the last week of July, things may have changed for you. You may be feeling very upbeat, and you may want to go out and have fun with friends. This is because Mercury has transited a couple of houses down, and now all of a sudden it's giving you this burst of energy. Also, now all of a sudden you may, in August, may feel like you want to spend time with family, and you may have a good time with them. You may want to go out with them and do something fun with them. This was definitely going to happen. Stay very cordial and have a good communication with them. Don't get into it with them. I don't see anything bad happening, but I'm just warning you because Mercury, your ascendant lord, is combust. So the one thing that it does do when it's combust like that is give you poor communication skills. Otherwise, staying with family and having a good time is going to be a very good thing for you. But because your communication skills may be challenged, so that's why I'm putting it out there. Make sure you watch your communication skills. Also, you have been thinking since the last week of July, you may have been thinking about investments and how you want to manage your money. That has definitely been on your mind for a few weeks now, since before August started. So you can do that, but think through this very carefully. Again, your ascendant lord Gemini is challenged because it's combust and it's moved so fast. So definitely you have to think about it. Make sure you do all your planning and make all your changes before August 9th, because then Mercury moves on very fast to other houses and it can give you some challenging results if you make any investment changes after that. So make sure you think carefully and make changes before August 9th, or wait till September to make any changes. After August 9th and until September, it's a challenging time and you may make decisions that are not with having the positive consequences that you're hoping for. As far as love relationships are concerned, you may start developing new friendships in August, and you may want to start having new friendships, but nothing serious is going to develop until September. So stay social, go out, but if you're hoping for something substantial or serious to develop, I think you're going to have to wait till next month, because right now, like I said, Mercury is combust, it's moving fast through houses, and you're going to have to wait till September for it to give you some really good results. Again, I'm going to reinforce to you, make sure you keep your communication very cordial, especially when it comes to big groups and communication within big groups. There's chances that you're going to get fiery and start fights. Make sure you watch for that, and before it gets to the point, you need to keep quiet so you don't start fights and have those very bad consequences that things may not end well. And your challenging days are the 1st, 4th, 5th, 11th, 22nd, 23rd, 26th, 27th, and 28th. Cancer. Now, Cancer, what you have to consider in August, that the sun is in your ascendant lord, meaning the sun is in Cancer and that's your ascendant lord. So the sun's sitting right there. Normally when the sun is in somebody's ascendant lord, it gives a lot of ego and it gives a lot of anger too. The sun, remember, it represents ego and fire. So it's going to give you a lot of ego issues, and might even give you anger issues. Normally, Cancerians are not angry people, but the sun can make you do that this month. So keep your anger under control. The anger, because it's in the ascendant lord, it's looking directly at the 7th house, and guess who's going to be the brunt of the anger? It's going to be your partner. It could be your business partner, or it could also, obviously, is going to be more of your marital partner. So you need to watch your anger and watch your ego against your spouse. And also, because Mercury is combust, your speech is going to be fiery. So combine your ego and your anger, and here's combust Mercury. And you may say things to them to hurt them, or you may actually say things that you regret later. Because like I said, Cancerians are sensitive people and they don't really want to say stuff like that. So when you say it, that's not who you really are. So you may regret that later. So be very careful what you say to people, especially your marital partner. So otherwise, August is a really good month for you, because remember, the sun also represents your career, your position, and your status. So it's going to give you results after it makes the transit to the next house, which is after the mid-month. It's going to give you great career growth. It's also may give you, if you're looking for a job, you may actually get a job towards the later part of the month. It will give you that. So it's a good month for you. It's going to give you a rise in status, position, and it's also good for gains of wealth and income. It's good for all those things, as long as you can keep your mouth under control. I'm saying this to all my ascendants, not just to Cancer. So the sun will give you good results more later in the month than the first half of the month, after sun makes its transit to the next house. So it's a good month for you. I also see you spending a lot of money on luxuries and items, and especially those items that are related to the house. You could be spending large ticket items for the house, and also I see you spending a lot of money on yourself as well. The sun makes you kind of do that because it makes you look at yourself in the mirror, because the sun puts the spotlight on yourself. So I see you doing that a lot in August as well. It's a good time for investments. Also, if you're thinking of changing your investments, it's a good time for that. Your challenging days are the 4th, 5th, 6th, 18th, 19th, and the 21st, and then the 24th. Leo, there's two things going on in August. One, your ascendant Lord Sun is in your 12th house, and the other thing is that Mars is in your ascendant house. What does that mean? So when your own ascendant Lord goes into your 12th house, it affects your health a little bit. It makes you feel a little unwell, and also maybe depletes your energy sometimes. Also, it makes you spend a lot of unnecessarily. It makes you spend things on things that you don't need. It just does that. The other thing is when Mars goes into your ascendant house, it actually gives you impulsive behavior. So the impulsive behavior could be the fact that you're buying things impulsively or making impulsive decisions on any matter, actually. Mars in your ascendant Lord also, because in the past, for the last few months, you've been feeling a little down, maybe low on energy, but Mars in your ascendant house is going to give you this burst of energy, and you may try to work out a lot and feel like, okay, I've got all this energy, let me work out. And that you have to be very careful when you do that, because that may be what hurts you. So you have to be very careful you don't hurt yourself this month, because when Mars moves into your ascendant house, it's possible to get hurt as well. You can get hurt from overworking out, or you can just get hurt around the house as well. So you have to be very careful that you don't overexert yourself from all this burst of energy that you have. You also have to be very careful that you drive carefully. I don't mean to scare you, but I'm just saying, don't overdo anything and overexert yourself, because you've got this burst of energy. Also, this might be the month where you don't have a lot of company around you. You may feel like nobody's around you and it's a lonely month for you. That's maybe a good or a bad thing, depending upon how you look at it. So this might be not the month where you're socially active and you have a lot of people around you. So I think it's a good thing sometimes, because this month is very good for spiritual growth. I think you should start some spiritual practice this month, and it would be great for you. So it's a good month for spiritual development and for doing meditation, starting a new meditation routine. You could do that, and maybe you can Mars likes routines very much, so it's sitting in your ascendant Lord, so Mars loves routine. So if you could set up a routine where you do some spiritual development, spiritual practice, or you do a workout practice, don't overdo it, and Mars likes that. So you're making good use of the Mars energy that you have in August, and you don't feel like you don't have people around you. So that's a good month for that. So there's a lot of good things in this month also. The one good thing that's coming up in Mars is that if there's anything that you were waiting for that had been delayed for a long time, this might be the month you see it. It could be good news that you get that you were waiting for a long time. So you might start to hear it towards the end of July, or even in August. So the good news could be related to anything. It could be related to your children. It could be related to relatives. It could be related to your career. It could really be related to anything. So something that was stuck for a while, and now all of a sudden this Mars burst of energy will give you the good news that you've been waiting for a while. If you've been waiting to go for foreign travel or something like that, I know it's a pandemic and nobody can really travel, but if you have been, or you are planning on it, this August might be the month you plan for it, or you actually, if you're able to, you can travel to foreign land as well. I did forget to tell you that it's to be very careful if you're signing any loans or any paperwork that you're signing. You do need to be very careful and check all paperwork before you sign it. Check all the documents before you sign it. Somebody might be cheating you, or there might be any deception with paperwork. You also need to take very good care of your passwords and the privacy on your computer and social media. So make sure it's nobody hacks it or is able to access it. Make sure you protect your password privacy on social media, and check all documents before you sign anything. And your challenging days are the 6th to the 9th, 13th to the 16th and the 27th to the 30th. Virgo, your ascendant Lord Mercury is combust and it's moving fast. So one of the issues that you're going to have is that lately, since last month, you've been thinking a lot about finance and how to manage your financial activity, investments and stocks and all that kind of stuff. You've been very interested in, and you may have been making a lot of changes in it. But I think that after the 9th of August, I think you should stop doing things with it and stop meddling with or making any changes to your financial activities or investments, because Mercury is going to transit into its next house, and it's going to give you some impaired decision-making ability on how to manage your finance. So I think that whatever you can do in the first week of August is fine, and then you should just wait till later in the month, or even till September. Now, generally in August, the first week, you're going to be very happy based on the transit. You're going to think your dreams come true, and you've just realized what you've been waiting for all your life, and you'll be very happy. So, but then after that, as Mercury transits into its next sign, all of a sudden you're going to think that that's fine that you realize your dream, but now it's becoming expensive and you start worrying about your money. You may not worry about it, but you may start spending a lot of money. And also your health might be suffering a little bit based on what you're eating, your food habits. So you should take good care of what you eat and take care of your health, because you may be suffering in your abdomen area or stomach area, or lower abdomen area. You may feel a little uncomfortable there, so your health might suffer a little bit after the first or the mid-August, I should say. So take good care of your health. And then also watch your expenses during that time. Otherwise, after mid-August, it's a very good time for new income, like new opportunities for income. I think it's a good time for that. You might run into more opportunities on how to make more money. So it's a good time for that. The inflow of money will be good during August, after mid-August, but then the outflow will also match it. So no matter how much you make, you'll end up spending it on something or the other will keep coming up, and you'll keep spending it. Otherwise, I think August is an okay month for you. The only caution that I give you is your ascendant Lord, because Mercury is combust, and I'm telling all my ascendants this, is to watch their communication, and especially Gemini and Virgo, because they're ruled by Mercury. I think they're going to suffer because of the communication skills that they're going to have. They're going to start saying things that without thinking. They're going to start saying things, fiery speech, and then regret it later, or it may not have good consequences. So especially those two ascendants are really going to suffer the most because of, bad communication or unprofessional communication or communication that they regret later. So think before you speak, even as far as speaking to people outside or strangers. When you go out and you talk to strangers, I think you should be very careful of what you say to them and how you say it, because your ascendant Lord is combust and it rules communication. So you have to be very careful. A lot of times, if it's not fiery speech, it's misunderstood speech. So you can be saying something and the other person is not understanding you, or it's misunderstanding something, and then they do something completely different than what you asked them to do. So watch your communication, and by communication I don't mean just anger, but also misunderstandings may arise from that. So again, August is a good month for you. Watch your expenses and your communication, and your challenging days are 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th, and then 16th, 17th, and then 29th and the 30th. And with that, I come to the end of my predictions. Thank you for watching. Stay safe.